Let me get the right channel on. Takes just a minute to catch up, so just wait for a few of you to come in. Where are we? See if anybody comes in. I'll just have my cup of tea while I'm waiting. I can see something. I know it's shining. All good, someone's there. I'm not seeing it, so that's why I am just waiting. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. It's a bit slow today. I know on my iPad it always runs a little bit behind, but it's not picking it up today. So give me a thumbs up or a wave or a comment if you can hear me okay, because there's no point me starting if everybody's not here. Oh, we've got a thumbs up, so you can hear me okay. That's good. That's good. Yes, this is the second live for me today. I did a pink frog one at lunchtime, making a super quick little mini album. We did this one just here. So that's my 6x6 album in an hour. So that's what we created over on the Pink Frog Facebook Live at 1 o'clock. So you can go back and watch that as well for something new. Okay, I'm not seeing. Let's change to a different platform. It's not letting me bring up the comments. Marvellous modern technology. So I'll give it a couple of minutes. Hello, Bev. Yes, I'm very well, thank you. And I hope you are too. The sun is streaming through the craft room window. In fact, let me pop some lights on, because I haven't put the lights on because I've got my big board up against the window. So I'm just seeing if I can bring it up on my iPad. And if I can't, I will just go ahead. It's just a shame though, because I won't be able to talk to you. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, so I can see your comments. Because with YouTube, it takes a while to process before I can see a comment. So it's about an hour after the actual live that I see the comments. So that's why I'm trying to bring them up now, and it's not letting me. So let's go live again. No, they're not. It's not happening today. It's not happening. Hello, Tracy. How are you? Hope you're doing okay. Who's done their homework? Now, there's a question I'm going to ask. Who has done their homework? Did you watch last week's Craft With Me number 6? Because if you have, you'll know that you've got to do your homework. Now, I cut myself some pieces. That's it. I need to colour those, so I need to find my ink pads. And in fact, I could do that for a minute while I'm waiting for the technology to come in. Live. No, it's not wanting to share today. Why is it not wanting to share? Let me see if it's coming up here on the main page. No, it's not happening. So I'm not going to be able to see any of your comments, which is not very good because I want to hear from you all. So I'd love to hear, because we're going to do a couple of different covers with Hinge systems today, just to share something new with you. In fact, while I'm waiting, I will just see. Right, I'm going to try one more time over on my channel. I'll tell you what, let's shut all the windows down and start again. And then I'm going to give up if it doesn't happen. But I'd like to hear from you. Channel. Ah, it's come. I told you it always takes so long. So that's been 7 minutes that's taken to register on my iPad from when I started with you guys. So thank you so much for bearing with me and keeping with me while I was fiddling about. I'm just bringing out some ink pads. I'm just thinking, what colour will we go for? I think we'll go yellow, because I'm going to share something else with you to try. So we've got Bev in the house, we've got Tracy in the house. So that's good. That's good. Good, good, good. So Tracy's done her homework. Well done, Tracy. Gold star to you. You're going to get head girl status. So when you come through to the day workshop in August, you're going to be top of the class doing all this homework before. I'm well impressed. So you've done, so have you done both sets of pages? That's something else I'm going to ask you. Have you done both sets or just one? Let's see if I get any comments come through. I don't know whether you joined us last week, Bev. I can't remember who was on. I've had so many things going on at the moment. It's been a bit crazy in my life, but it's all good crazy, which is marvellous. So I'm just colouring up some bits of chipboard. So who's got themselves some chipboard to try the chipboard one? And who's got themselves some cardstock to do the cardstock one? Am I getting any? Oh, Tracy, you're definitely getting gold star head girl status. She's done both sets. Well done. Sue Keen's in. Hi, Sue. How are you? Now, Sue, have you done homework from last week? Have you made your pages? Have you made your pages? Just watching. She's just watching. Right. So what we're doing today is this is part 2 from what I did last week. So if you missed last week, I'll do a quick recap. I'm not going to make it because you can go back and watch Craft With Me #6. So you can see that. Let me move that to one side. Now I've got filthy hands and I need to find a wet wipe. And where's a wet wipe when you want one? No, not there. I'll have to get a new packet out. Right. So I think we're about ready to go down. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Nottinghamshire. And that's probably what people are doing. They're enjoying the sunshine. And I don't blame them. But the lovely thing about Facebook is, and with YouTube, you can come back and watch again and again. And that's the nice thing with this, is it's going to be there. And I know from watching or seeing the figures from last week, a lot of people are tuning in afterwards, which is absolutely fine because I have people coming in from all over the world. So I don't mind them tuning in afterwards. I'm fine with that. Absolutely fine. So let me clear this yellow ink off my hands and I'll explain why I've been doing that in a minute. Let's move that off my hands. So I hope everyone is keeping well. So that's it. That will do. Right, let's move that piece of paper out the way and that out the way because I don't need that. Right, I think without further ado, I'm going to bring you down so you can see what's going on. Now, let's see what happens with my camera today, because this morning I had to have it right down. So let's see what happens today on YouTube. Sorry, a quick slurp of tea. So let me turn the camera and let's pop you in the holder. You can see how I like my tea now, look, really strong. So we can go up a little bit. See, this is it. YouTube, I can go up. Facebook, I have to come down. Right, I think we're about square. I think that's about good. you can see what's going on. So for those that missed out on last week, if anybody's watching, we did 2 lots of pages. I gave you homework. I made 2 each with you, and then I gave you homework. So what we've made here, let's start with the plain one. This is made with just 1 sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So this allows you straight away to put 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10. And then you've got a little tag in there. So that's 12. So you can get 12 pieces or photographs on each of those lovely panels. And we did that one. We did that simple page. And then we did this page. Let's turn it around that way, which we've kept plain one side, but then on the reverse we've got the additional pockets. I haven't put my tags in that one. That's very remiss of me. So I've got to make my tags to go in there, and then it opens up again and again. Now this isn't my design. This was sent to me by one of my lovely followers in America, and she watched the lady, but she couldn't quite grasp how she'd done things. So she asked if I would create a video. Now this is going back a long time, but I've still kept the piece of card with the instructions that the lady sent me. So this isn't my design, okay? It's by a lady called Elsa from Just a Few Designs, okay? And if you watch last week's video, in the description I have left a link as well to her, so you can see that. So if you haven't done your pages, you can watch Craft With Me #6, where we made the pages with the hinge on the outside, but we also made a set where the hinge is on the inside. So again, same thing, but the hinge is on the inside. So this is going to give this a totally different look. So I asked you to make 4 pages of each one. I'm just getting these in the right order of what I want to have. 4 pages of each one, okay, and then we're going to now create the books and the hinge system to do them with. So I thought to start with, because this morning I have been using my Pink Frog 12 by 12 Super Smooth, and it is on an offer at the moment. So I thought let's start off with this style. So let me take a sheet of this 12 by 12 out. So this is Super Smooth Pink Frog. This is acid and lignin free, okay. So I'm going to use that for the first one. So the first one we'll do is the one where the hinge is poked inwards. All right. So let's leave that one to one side for now. I'll put that up there out the way, and we've got this here, so I know which one I'm doing. So I'm going to trim this down. I've got all my measurements here. I need measurements. So I'm going to trim this down. We are working in inches. So we're going to trim down to 6 inches by 8 3/4 inches. And I thought this gives it a lovely album cover. So we're going to try 2 different ways. And actually from this you can do even more combinations, but we'll stick with the 2 for now. So scoreboard, inches scoreboard. Let's take that bit of tape off there. Tool and bone folder. Need a bone folder in your life, definitely. So what we're going to do to start with is we're going to go on the short side, and you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch in on both ends. So 3/4 of an inch, do a half turn and do 3/4 of an inch. And then on the long side, you're going to score at 1 1/4 and 7 3/4. Okay, now I've already made one up, so I'm going to recap that with you. So on the short side, so you can do your second one, is what I'm thinking. So on the short side, you're coming in 3/4 of an inch. You're going to do a half turn and come in 3/4 of an inch. Then on the long side, you're going to do 1 1/4 and 7 3/4. Okay, and you know what I'm going to tell you to do now. Yes, we are burnishing. I tried to give my bone folder a bit of a file down the other day, but it wasn't having it. I think I need to get a new one. I've got such a ridge in it, and it's worn. Could you see how it's worn at one side? So I think I need to get a new one. I need to treat myself. Okay. So this is a similar process to we normally do, but we're not adding any chipboard to this. I know I said she gets some chipboard, but we're not adding any chipboard to this one at this stage. And then with our scissors, we're going to cut away this triangle and do a slight mitre on the corner. So if I share it with you, you're going to come up just a little bit, and then you're going to trim that one away. Okay, so it's going to look like that. That's what you're cutting off, and you're going to do that on both ends. So this is the piece that is 1 1/4. Okay, so you've got both those pieces out of the way. The next thing you're going to do is we're going to do a diagonal across. Okay, and we're going to do a diagonal across. Now what I like to do is I come on the outside of where it crosses, because then when you fold it in, can you see like that's not quite enough mitre? I can go back in and trim a bit more off, but I don't want to go back in and stick a piece on. So try it again now, and that's fine. Let's try this one. That needs just a little bit off. So yes, you can buy fancy gadgets, but you don't need to buy fancy gadgets. That's the good thing about it. Right, and I'm happy with that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue these 3 down. So let me get my glue. Now I'm not going to do my normal hinge system on this either, because I thought you've seen me do that. So we're going to do something different. So that's why you've got to stick with me. So we're not doing the same old thing. We're going to try a different hinge system. I have used it before, but I haven't shown you guys in a long time. That's why I thought, well, let's do something a little bit different that we haven't done for a while. And the thing is, we do tend to forget about using different methods. We find a method that we like and we stick with it. But sometimes it's quite good to shake things up a little bit. Right. And then we'll bring this side down. So this isn't going to incorporate any of your grey board, mount board, whatever you normally use to stiffen up a base, because I'm using 300 GSM cardstock. So that's a good sturdy weight already. But by folding that over, straight away that's 600. And if you hear, that is very sturdy. And then I want to put a panel here on the front. So I'm going to measure my one just here. So I need 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So let's get that little piece. In fact, I'm going to see beside me, I might have some scraps left from this morning's Pink Frog Live. That might be. No, that's 6. I'm just seeing if I've got any scraps that I can use. Oh, I can cut this down. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So let's do a 6 1/4 and then a 4 1/4. Okay, so we've got another panel. Let me have a quick how are you doing, Tracy? Are you keeping up with me? So we're going to glue this on. In fact, before you glue it on, make sure it fits how you want it. Yes, it does. I'm not happy with that raw edge, but never mind. I've just got some new blades, so I need to change my trimmer blade. So I'm going to pop that onto there. And we give that a little burnish down. Okay, so you're going to have 2 like that, but one is going to have those little wings on and the other one isn't going to have the little wings on. So those of you that have followed me for a while will know where we're going with this one next, which is fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to attach this onto here and then glue those 2 wings down. Okay, so we'll put some glue on this side. Always try it out first and make sure it fits. So wet glue. So I'm going to lay that like that, and then I'm going to pop this on the top so I can butt it up to that score line. You'll feel, you know, that resist. So just feel that bit of resist, wipe that away. Check that's all working in there, which that is. Give that a good burnish to disperse the glue. It's like spreading the glue around, but we hadn't had to do it beforehand. And then these are going to go over there. So straight away, we've strengthened up that 300 GSM card. Okay. So over on there and down on that one. And again, give that a good burnish down. Now I'm thinking at this stage, I'm going to decorate the outside cover. Now the way I determined an outside cover is, can you see where we've got the join? That's the join piece. I always put that to the back. So you've got the nice rounded piece on the front. So that's going to be my front piece. And I am thinking here that I think I'm going to do a bit of a matte and layer. So I'm going to go on with some of the lovely Pink Frog Rainbow Mirror. Okay, isn't it absolutely glorious? So I'm going to have a piece of this. So this first mat needs to be 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. So let's go around that way. And I need 2 of those. I was wondering what was shining in the craft room earlier on when I was looking through some bits I needed. And it was this shining away in the corner. And I couldn't work out what was shining on my face. So 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 for your first mat. So we've got 1. And then we've got 2. And then for the actual hint or spine, I should call it spine, we're going to, let's go in with a 1 inch by 4 1/4. So I've got that little 4 1/4 piece left. So let's cut a 1 inch. And that will do for my first lot of mats. And then I need extra mats. So I think I'm going to go, I think we're going to go stripy, because I've got some stripy. Oh, have I? I can't remember what I've done my other one. I've done flowers on that one. Let's go stripy. So this time we need 4 by 6 for the covers. So 4 by 6, and you're going to need 2 of those. This is just the plain piece that's going on the top. You could quite easily make more of this as well. Okay, so I'm going to trim a piece off there. So this little piece that's going to be on the back of the spine is 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so that's 3/4 of an inch by 4. Oh, hold that still. Hold that still. There we go. That will do. So let's get those ones stuck down, and then we will look at the hinge. So let's pop this one in. I just thought this would make it stand out a little bit more against the white, and also it will pick up colours that are going around as well. That's what I find with the rainbow mirror. Now I could add myself a ribbon, but I'm not going to. Okay, because you could do that, but we're not going to. But if you're going to add a ribbon, I would do it down first and then put that on the top. Or you could do it on the inside cover as well. That's another place it could go. Okay, so let's just pop that onto there. And I will just give that a little burnish down before I stick the next layer on. But these make great little books, as we spoke about, because you do use very few supplies, and as Elsa says in hers, they're very quick and easy to do. I'm going to do a little bit of yellow inking on mine, just to take that just cut look off. Now this is where you could corner around her, you could do anything you like really. This is, you know, I'm just going to give you the basics here to make your album, and then how you go on and decorate the top is entirely up to you. Okay, I wonder what you could use this album for, because really we're putting 4 pages in, so 12 photographs gives you 48. That's a lot of photographs in a little album like this. And then you've got all that little pocket, remember, with the little pocket with the little tags and things for you to put journaling and stuff as well. So you can get quite a lot of photographs in here. It's a great brag book size, I think. Does that yellow look lovely against that rainbow mirror, the silver? Looks fabulous. So let's pop that one. I didn't match up my lines, but that doesn't matter. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. And that's going to go onto there. Okay, so that's the outside of our book. This is the front cover, remember. So let's flip that round, and we ought to put some paper on here as well. So let's just trim some paper from there. So I'm just hoping I've got enough for that one. I think I have. So let's go 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I think that's what we had. We'll just have single this time. So that's 1. And 2. Let's check that's going to sit nicely. I could have even brought that down a bit more because I've got that bit there, but actually it's going to cover that up. So that's going to be, I could trim it down. Let's trim it down. Let's make it 6 by 4. Sorry. Apologies. This is what happens when we do a craft with me, you see, because I'm doing it with you. I've not got any made up. So I'm actually working with you in the same time. So let's make that 6 by 4. Let's put those scraps away. Let's have a look and see if I'm happier with that. That's better because we've got that bottom piece there and that just makes that look like an additional mat. So let me just ink those edges. Now, where are you watching from? Are you watching from me while you're sitting in the garden enjoying the sun? Are you watching while you're in your craft space? Are you sneaky watching while you're meant to be working? Now, there's the thing. You can, can't you? So let's stick these down. So we'll pop that onto there. And this one on here as well. So also by adding all these extra layers, we've added the mirror card, we've added paper. Again, that cover is as sturdy as having something with chipboard in. I'd love to know what yours is feeling like, but that's as sturdy as having that in. So just shows you that you don't always have to add chipboard if you don't want to. Particularly if it's something you're going to be posting, because we do have to be a bit mindful of weight when we're posting. So I'm happy with that. So that's my cover. Cover's all done. Right, now let's look at the hinge itself. Okay, so have a quick sip of tea. So from some scraps, I've got some more scraps here. I need a piece that is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. That will do. So that's 4 inches by 2 1/4. Okay, that's one. And then I need another piece that is 2 3/4 by 4 inches. In fact, you know what I've cut out? I've cut up the wrong thing. I thought they were scraps. They're not scraps, Dawn. So let's start again. 4 inches by 2 1/4, and I'm using the same super smooth as I've used for the cover, so it all matches in nicely. Okay, so that's the first piece, and the next piece is 4 inches. Yeah, I've got enough there, and this is by 2 3/4. Okay. Oh, Janice says she's watching from the conservatory with her mum and 4 kittens. Oh, that's lovely. Oh, you got the patio doors open in the lounge, Sue. I bet your dog's enjoying that breeze as well. That's nice. I'm not saying anything. And a certain person knows who I'm talking about. beginning with T. So we've got our 2 pieces here, and we're going to bring our scoreboard in again. And our scoring tool. And I'm going to get you to score in 1 inch. On the short side we're going. 1 inch in on both sides. So let's go 1 inch there, half turn, and go 1 inch again. And that's going to leave us a 1/4 of an inch gusset. And then on the other one, we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to go 1 inch, half turn, and 1 inch. And that should give us a 3/4 of an inch gusset. Okay. So you know what I'm going to say. Give it a little burnish. Where are we? Carol says, I don't have any double-sided papers, so I'm using single-sided papers. Right, that's not a problem. You can use single-sided papers. What you can do is use your single-sided papers when you're on about the pages. So use your single-sided papers, but then what you can do on the inside or on the outside, just do a mat, a bit like we've done there, a pattern paper, and stick on that side. No problem at all. No problem at all. These are papers that I've had in my craft stash for ages. So this is it. We've always got stuff kicking around, but it's not my design, but it is a lovely design. And it just reminded me the other day when I was looking through some things, because I was tired in my craft room, and I came across it and I thought, oh, we haven't done that for a long time. So I thought we must give that a go. So I'm now getting my red line tape, and I'm going to get 9mm, because I think that will be a good size for our hinges. I'm just checking there. Yeah, I think, because I think 12mm is going to be too much. Plus the fact I'm getting low on my 12mm, and I need to get some. Oh, I could go 12mm. Hang on, let me have a look in my craft stash. It's all right, I've got my work pink frog stuff, and then I've got my stuff. And let me see if I've got any. 9, 12. I've got one of mine. So let's use that. So let's go 12mm. If you haven't got 12mm, go 9. Not a problem at all. And what we're going to do is you're going to put your tape. I do want to share with you, so don't worry. We're putting it, so that is your middle, the back of the hinge, and this is going to be the side where we're going to add our pages. Okay, I'm going to wrap it round. A lot of you would have seen me do this before. And then I get my tape scissors and snip that away. Okay, so that's one side. And then we're going to do the other side. Now, I'm not joining the hinge or the pages right down to the base of the hinge, because I want you to be able to move and open those flaps. So this, the way this is designed is called a stack the deck, but I've added the extra length so we can turn it and open our flaps. So stack the deck, I first saw Laura Dennison, American lady, do on YouTube, and it's a lovely way of doing a hinge, totally different to what I normally do as well. So it's always good to try something new, and when crafters share stuff on YouTube, it's nice to have a go. So you're going to have that one down in your book first, then that one's going to stack on the top. But we're going to do exactly the same with this, with the red line tape. So we'll add this back on here as well. Okay. I haven't decided what we're going to do next week on Craft With Me. I'm still having to think about that because I won't be able to join you the week after because I'm going to be travelling back from Devon from visiting my sister. So, but I will be here next week. So I'll have to put my thinking cap on of what we could do. So what we can do that's a little bit different. Right. Now you can see I'm burnishing the red line tape down. I like to do that because what it does is it pushes the fibres from your tape into the fibres, or the glue on your backing of your tape into the fibres of the paper. Because I do hear from people in different parts of the world that they do struggle with humidity, with cards and albums and things falling apart because the adhesives don't work. So that's why I like to get those pushed down. I need to put that back in my packet. Right, so now I'm going to stick, so we've got that part for our hinge. I'm now going to stick this part down into the middle of here. Now, if you're not sure where the middle is, you can use your centralising ruler, which is not a problem. So if I go in on the inches side, you can just do yourself a little pencil mark. Let me bring that in. Pencil, pencil, pencil. I knew I'd kept one down here for a reason. I'm just going to do a little pencil mark there and there. And then again, there and there. So you can do yourself a little pencil mark. Don't be worried about it. I'm going to stick this with glue. Okay. Oh, Susan's going to France next week to visit her sister. Oh, so you're visiting your sister as well. I won't be going to afterwards because I'm down on Hobby Maker next Saturday. So I've got TV to do first. So I'll be back down on Hobby Maker for Pink Frog, which will be good. So I put my glue on there. If you roll it to one side, can you see where you've got two lines? If you line that up onto there first, because you'll then got your 1/4 inch. When you open it up, you've got 1/4 inch. And then when you open it that side, you've got 1/4 inch. So that's called a stack the deck. Now, stack the deck only works when you've got even pages. So we've got 4 pages to add. So that's going to work absolutely perfectly. Okay. So now we're going to attach this into here. So again, we've got a little bit top and bottom, and this is 3/4 inch, and this is an 1.25 inches, if I remember. Yes. So we're going to go central again. So what you're going to do is you're going to have 1/4 inch each side. So again, if you do yourself a little mark, I'm going to come up a little bit. So I'm going to do a mark there and a mark there. So I've got 2 little marks because this is going to also come up. So it's going to more or less be in line with where you put your yellow papers. You're going to line up your hinge with where you've got your yellow papers. So glue it again. I'm going for this one. Okay. I'm just going to dab that to the edges. So it's where I want it to be. So hold it carefully and then pop that down. See how that lines up? When you see here, top and bottom. And then if you fold that out there, that lines up top and bottom. That's exactly where I want that to be. Now get your bone folder in and get that glue nicely dispersed. Open it up that way, get that glue all nicely down. Now you know with your EVA glue, which is what I'm using, it does dry quickly, particularly in this heat that we've got at the moment. But I'm not complaining about the heat because it's never here for long enough. So that's down. So that is now our book with our hinge. So we've got 1/4 inch in between each one, and you've got 1/4 inch on the inside and the outside as well. So let's start adding our pages that we had that were going inwards. So I'm thinking, which way round's this one going? Could have blue at the beginning, couldn't we? Let's have that one at the beginning, and then I could have a plain pink, and then I could have, oh, I've got one missing, a yellow one, and then I could have a blue one, yes, because that one can't go round. Oh, it could, no, that can't go round that way, that's got to go that way. So there we go. That's, in fact, that needs to be better that way. Let's go round that way. It's because I did some of mine in reverse, can you see? But this is where you can have fun. So who was it that said they only got single papers? I can't remember who it was. Carol, yes. When you're looking at double papers, you can do so much more with them. So let's start off with this first page. So I've wrapped mine round. So I'm going to take that off there. And I'm going to keep that there for a minute, actually. Let's take that off there. Because what you've got is when you open this up, can you see how that opens? And the other side's going to open. Now, another little thing you can do, in fact, let's do that. So I'll share you another little idea, is if you put a little bit of your glue over the top of your tape, not loads, it gives you a little bit more wiggle room on your tape. So can you see I've just put a little bit, yeah? Now I can pop this down. So just bear with. I'm going right down. You're going to get that resist because the page folds in on itself. And then when you've got that resist, pinch it tight together. And actually I'm going to open up all my flaps. Press that tightly together. Close my flaps, and that's your first page down. Now I've got 12mm and that's sticking out just a little bit. Now if your tape is sticking out a little bit, I could have gone with 9. All you're going to need to do is, you know that duster bag that you have when you're doing your embossing powders? See, that side's fine. Just give it a little dust with your duster bag. Okay, so that's a little top tip. So let's take the next one off. And we'll do this one this side. I think we're going to run over because we've got the other cover to do yet, if that's okay with everybody. I wasn't late with starting, it was just late everything coming together with YouTube. At this rate, I'll have to come onto YouTube 10 minutes beforehand, but it'll be fine. So press that one down again. Open it out, press that in. That's your second page down. And can you see, because we've got that extra piece, it means your pages lay nice and flat. So let's do the next one. And just having that little bit of glue on there just allows you that little extra bit of wiggle time. And it will all dry, so don't worry. So this one is going in next. That's got my extra pocket on, if you remember. So this is going to open that way. You see as it opens up. So make sure you've got that open with the pocket bit on. It's not as easy, but it will work. So we're going to slide that down. Press that together. There we go. See, it's all coming together. Could have slid that one down a little bit more, but that'll be fine. I can trim that up. And then last one. Little bit of tape on there, or glue. Find your little opening. Slide that all the way down. Okay, press that down. And that will stay fine. Oh, that's okay. Tracy's finished work now. That's good. That's good. So there we go. So that is the first version. So can you see with this, the way we've made the cover and the way the Stack the Decks worked, it means we can lay those pages nice and flat. So it fits together as a lovely little book. You could put ribbon on there, but I don't think you need it. And can you see we haven't got big, what I call crocodile open mouth, because you've got all that space in there. And you can see here where you've got your 1/4 inch gap in between them all, so it all sits nicely together. So that's the first way you can do it. So that's if you've got your inverted hinges. So now let's look at the second way. So this is the original design from Elsa, where you've got the hinges coming out. Now, if you've got a cinch or a bind it all, you could quite easily hole punch these and put one of the wires around and use that. Not a problem at all. But not everybody's got those. So let's look at another way we could do this. So I've made one ahead of time. Let me just check that my measurements were okay. See, I've made a little cover ahead of time. Okay. So very similar to the type of thing I did this morning with Pink Frog. So chipboard. Chipboard. I've got to cut some, I think, from my scraps. Yes. So my last bit's chipboard. I need to get some more chipboard, definitely. So let me get my chipboard trimmer. Let's move the pages out the way. Bring my chipboard trimmer in. And I made this was 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. So let's trim this down. So let's trim this down here. Now I use this trimmer just purely for my chipboard. If you haven't got a special trimmer or a trimmer, I would recommend highly, when you're going to do this, to use an old blade. Don't use a brand new blade or a blade you've been using for cutting your paper, because you don't need to. Could use a craft knife, but why use a craft knife when you can keep it nice and simple, keep yourself safe as well? So it's better done with the trimmer. So now let's lay that into there. Let me just double check that length. Yep, lay that into there. Do exactly the same again. So I'm just going down a couple of times, give that a turn, and going in a couple of times again, and then that piece will break off. Keep hold of that piece, you're going to need that. I'll come up with another little idea. I want you to cut this down to 1/2 inch pieces. So you're going to trim down 3 1/2 inch pieces. Okay. I'll just do one with you, but you're going to trim down 3. So you've got that. All right. This is going to be, now I have done this idea before, and do you remember when we did the embellishments and we used those little flat pony beads? That's what my little flat pony beads were for. So, oh, Carol's watching from the bedroom. I hope it's nice and cool in there. I must say it's getting hot in here at the moment. I could do with my fan on. So I've cut myself 3 of those. And then what I've done with them, I've just inked them over. That's why I was getting all messy hands while I was waiting for everybody to come in, with yellow ink pad. All right. So that's those to one side. Move those measurements, don't need those. So now we're going to cover this up. So I'm going to take a piece of paper the same, and I've kept myself a piece back, which is going to be too big, I think. Yeah, it is going to be too big. I need to cut. Let me trim that off. So the top piece is 4 by 6. So let's trim that down. And I've got to get all my stuff ready because I've got Thursday Craft Club tomorrow too. So that's that. I'm happy with that. And we're going to put this onto here. So what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to glue this down. Okay, I could go in with some red line tape. I could go in with tape. I'm just going to go in with some glue. Okay, and I'm going to position that about there. So I'm doing a totally different way to we did this morning. All right, that's why I wanted to show some different ideas, because it's always good to go back and see other ideas. So I've got a panel this end. I need a panel this end, so let's trim it off there. That would do. And then what I'm going to do is bring my scoreboard in, and to help my paper wrap over, I'm just going to put some score lines. So I'm going to go roughly where these would be. Okay, in fact that could do with coming over a little bit. It just helps. Just find a notch. It just helps when you come to wrap it round, it's not going to rip. Because some people, they make the beautiful albums, get to this stage and they rip their paper, and there's nothing worse than doing that right when you don't want to do that. So let's turn that around that way. It's not very easy for me to do that way. So let's have a look at that one. That should be fine. So that's just given us a little bit of help when we come to bend this round. Can you see? It means it's having a little bit of give because we've already done that score. And if you get your bone folder, this is why mine's got a ridge in it, give that a little go over with your bone folder as well. Okay. I'm going to carry on. We're going to finish this one off before I stop this live, because I did promise you we'd get them done today. So we're going to mitre. So just check it. Okay. So what I tend to do is where you've got the cross, I tend to cut this side of the cross. Okay. And then just check it again. Yeah, happy with that. You can buy fancy gadgets, but you don't need to. Happy with that. And happy with that. Okay, so now let's get that stuck on. So yes, if you've got a cinch or a bind it all, you can quite easily do what I'm going to do with that. And I have got a bind it all, but then I thought there's lots of people that don't have a bind it all. And that's why I said you get a crocodile, or bring your crocodile in, or your hole punch, because I know most crafters will have a hole punch like that in their craft stash. So I thought, rather than me sharing something with you that is no good if you haven't got that special device, I'm going to share with you a way you can do it without a special device. And sometimes it's good to go back to basics. When I first started creating and designing mini books, I had the bare minimum of supplies, but it never stopped me creating some beautiful projects. You don't always need to have the kitchen sink, as I say. So just scoring that down. So bringing that all over. That's it. Just take your time because the glue will soak into that chipboard, believe you me. So I'm happy with how that's looking. So now we can pop this little piece on the top just to finish that off. It is a good idea, Sue, to score it once it's stuck on, because it does help without having your paper cracking. It is a little top tip I do use quite a lot, because in the past I have made memory books and you get to that crucial stage and it cracks and you get so cross with yourself, particularly when you've added your pages and things and it just doesn't look nice. So right, so that's our covers. We've got 2 covers. We've got 3 what I call little spacers. We've got 4 pages. And actually with my pages, I'm going to take out that centre piece because that'll otherwise is going to go all the way down that bottom. So I'm going to remove those from my pages so they don't get holes punched in them, because we wouldn't want that. Where's the last one? Oh, I haven't got one in there. So let's go. What colour combination are we going to have? Where's the other one with the double page? That's that side, so that can go there and that can go there. So that's the order I'm going to have my pages in. So what I've decided to do is use my crocodile. And then I went to the Works here in the UK. It's a shop called the Works. And I got a load of these. So I've got a pack of 10 of these scrapbooking rings. So these are great because this is perfect for what you're going to do here. And this is nice because these are black. Normally they're like silver and things like that. This is black. So we're going to use 3 of those. Okay, so just from the Works, £2. I've got 10 in there. All right, so we got those. So if I put all these together and punch the holes, can you see how that is going to go a little bit like a crocodile? And I don't like that. But then if I put in between a little space bar, or this is where in the past I've used pony beads. Okay. And then you put those there and then put your cover on. Can you see how it all of a sudden it stands better? Because you've got that little bit of extra space going on there. All right, so that's what we'll do. So then I thought, let's use one of the space bars to actually be our markings for our rings. So centralising ruler comes back into play. Let's go inches. And you're going to say you can't see it. And I'm going to need to put it on something. And what have I got that's not too busy? This will do. Let's pop it on here. You might be able to see better. So this is a centralising ruler. So you've got 0 in the middle. You've got centimetres one side, inches the other side. This is a godsend. So if I put this in the middle, that's going to come at 2 inches and at 2 inches because I know that's the centre. So what I'm going to do is to mark the centre there because I know that's going to be my first hole. And then obviously I want a mark between those 2. Now if I go 1, I think that's going to be a bit too close. So I'm going to go, let's go 1 1/4. So from that middle point, I'm going to go 1 1/4. And then from this side, I'm going to go 1 1/4. So I feel now they're a bit more evenly spaced. All right. So then I can bring in my crocodile. And I'm going to go with the big hole. And this is where you need to have it unplugged or unclogged, Dawn. There we go. And we'll punch these first few holes. So 1. Come out, come out. So that's 1. 2. And 3. Okay, but then I can use this to mark everything else up. So this is going to be my marker. So let's bring these into play. In fact, I'm going to turn that around. Let's have that round that way. So do 1 and then use that as your template. That's a bit off there, but that'll be fine. I'm not too precious. If I wanted to be too precious, what I can do is to turn it round that way and have that one there. So now let's do the next lot. Now, I got a crocodile fairly early on when I was crafting, only because I'd seen other ladies use it at the class I used to go to. And I was really into my mini book making and things like that. And I thought, I need to have one of these. And yes, it's an investment, but I tell you what, it has been a good investment. I have used it a lot, not just for crafting, making holes in buttons. You know, your daughter wants another hole in her button, in her belt. It's great for stuff like that. You will use it around the house. You can go through metal with it, not just board and card and paper. So you can use it for so many other different things. That one hasn't punched. Yes, it has. And you're going to get all these little pebbles all over my craft room floor, but never mind. So now I'm going to mark up my pages. Now this crocodile will go through all these pages at once. So again, if I bring this in and do a hole and a hole and a hole. Okay, so I've marked my holes. I can bring all my pages in. I've got them all nice and neat together. And then we're going to go in and go through the whole lot in one go. 1. Just tap them all back square again. Going with the next one. There we go. Get those out of there. There we go. That's those. That's pages done. Spaces done. Boards now we've got to do. Now when you're doing your boards, remember our pages are smaller. Okay, just by a little bit. So what you could do is, I'm laying it right towards the end and I'm going to mark it. So again, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'll do exactly the same with this one. Bring that in again. So just by having one made, it's giving you your template for the rest. Ooh, that moved. Okay, so in we go again. I would do your chipboard covers one at a time. Now, if you don't have any chipboards or grey board, whatever you've got, you could use old cereal packets, old packaging. You could even glue yourself together a couple of sheets of, say, a thick card, like a craft card. I'm thinking like Pink Frog craft card is £3.50. You could do that. So there are ways around it. Okay, so don't ever think you can't do it because you don't have the product, because you can. All right, so let's do those last 3. There we go, down. And that one. And then I've got to have a think about what we're going to do next week. What can we do? What can it be? I'd like to do some scrapbooking with you as well, because I want to start my online scrapbooking classes again. So might do a little bit of scrapbooking. Might do, what could we do? I'm going to have a think. So I've got my front and back cover and my pages. So I'm going to take my D-ring. That's going to go through there. And then I'm going to go page. Let's open these others up. I must say I've been very impressed with these that I got from the works. Very impressed. You never know what you're going to pick up when you're out and about, do you? Now, apologies if I don't reply to any comments straight away, because as I said, once I finish this, YouTube takes an hour or so before they put it on my page for me to go through and look at any comments. And then the comments come like the next day, unfortunately. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So I can put my spacer on. Then the next page, I was going with that page, wasn't I? Next page, and then a spacer. Oh, that one's gone down. Don't go down, don't go down. This is where you need two hands. I could have put one in to start with, but I didn't. I was getting too excited. That's it. That's it. No, oh, no. That's it. Stay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to join those M1s together and do the rest. I'm going to do the middle ones. So use, and I've just got to hold one ring. So next page. I don't think it's going to be very easy to do it that way. I think I might have been better trying to persevere. Yes, I think I would. Or not at all. Don't think it's going to work that way. So what I could do is go the other way. Let's go that one in there. You won't be rushing like me. I know you won't. So that's going on there. That's going to have a spacer. And that one can go on there. That's the way to do it. See, you could tell, craft with me. I hadn't made one first. Well, I have years ago, but not recently. So let's get this one in. This is like Bernie the Bolt. Left a bit, right a bit. Who remembers that game? That's it. These are good book rings, I must say. They're not like some you get that fall apart within no time, or they don't stay shut. These are being very good. There we go. I'm really pleased with how this is coming on. Now I think I know where this one is going to be going. I've got my niece's birthday at the end of the month, and I know she's going to love this because she's finishing primary school and moving up to secondary school in the summer. So I think this will be perfect for her to add pictures of all her friends. So let's close this one. Don't catch your fingers. Let's do the middle one first. Good job I haven't done my nails this week. That's going to be a Thursday night job. Last one in. Ooh. They are really sturdy book rings. So now let's turn these pages over. Let's bring this all round on itself. Now you could do it without the spacers, but I think you're going to need the spacers in to see, so you're not having it all jumbled up. So let's pop our middle pieces in. So that tag goes into there. There we go. I got that in the right place. Yes, I have got that in the right place. It's not wanting to open up. In fact, did I have enough? I don't think I had enough, did I? Let's put the next one in this one. There we go, open that up. But it's quite interesting to think that you're going to get 12 photos on one of these little pages. It is good. So whether you like the spacer idea or not, I'm going to leave that one with you. I like it because I don't like things to be all crocodile type. That's where I have used pony beads, as I said in the end. Now, pony beads are little beads, you remember, that have got flat sides as well. Okay, so you could use those as well. And then to decorate my book rings, and I would do this the same as well if I was using a bind it all. Okay, because with that you have all your rings. If I was using a bind it all, I would do the same. I would add lots of ribbons and fibres and just knot them at the end just to make it look different. So we've got two ideas of covering our pages. We've got the book idea, where it all looks very professional and neat and tidy. Okay, ready for its decoration. And then we've got the book ring idea as well, but both of them have got all that interaction going on. Okay, so choice is yours, which way you prefer, which one you prefer as well. This book ring is playing me up. Let's have you on the outside. I think both have got their place. That one's a little bit quirky and that one looks more grown up and different. So I'm going to turn the camera around to say goodbye to you all. So I hope you have enjoyed this afternoon's craft with me. So I can't believe that's craft with me 7. Where's the time gone with these craft with me's? So 2 cracking little minis, not my page design, but my way of putting them in their little holders, their little covers, their little hinges. So you got this one with the Laura Dennison Stack the Deck, but I've given a little twist on it so it lays nice and flat. And then you got the book ring idea for those that haven't got a bind it all or a cinch or anything like that as well. So a couple of different ideas there for you. If you do make them, please do. Please share over on my Dawn's Inspiration or our Makes with Dawn's Inspirations Facebook group. I'll pop the link below in the video when YouTube does its thing and I can get on and adjust things. So it's a Facebook group I've set up called Our Makes with Dawn's Inspirations, where you can share anything you've made, watching me, following a tutorial, seeing one of my makes. And it's great for you to showcase what you've done, other people to see it, for you to inspire other people as well. And it's great because ideas bounce around and it's fabulous. So thank you very much for watching this afternoon. I will see you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. for a craft with me #8. And I will put a video up probably on Monday on YouTube, just to let you know what you're going to need and what we're going to be doing. So I will see you very soon. Thank you for watching and bye for now. Oh, wrong side.